Howdy, and thank you for joining us here on this Tuesday, September the 5th, 2023. Good Lord, I can't believe it's September already.
Oh, same here.
My goodness, I'm already working on some content for doing the Halloween props and decorations with the laser and everything. And I just, before I even knew it, I'm like, wait a minute. I looked at my phone today and I go, September 5th? Are you kidding me? I, my goodness, time is flying.
I know.
I wish it was back in the days when I was a young person and I was just really, really, couldn't wait for time to move faster. Now there's just not enough hours in the day for me. So,
Hmm.
how we doing tonight, Chad?
Good, thanks, Poe. Yeah, we were busy earlier at the waterfalls, and we did this
Oh
stream
yeah,
of Maryland, and kind of came back home, and.
yeah. I just got back in myself just a little bit ago, and I do have to apologize to everyone jumping on last minute like this. But apparently, I don't know how to read a calendar. So when I set up the live stream for the Louis Rossman calling out Scientology, that was supposed to be tonight, but I'm going to reschedule it for Thursday. I apparently scheduled it for a week from today. So that's yeah, another sign of my old age setting in on me, I guess. So, oh man, I'm wore out, Chad.
Same here, Poe.
I know you had your live stream last night, and I wasn't able to jump in on it. Uh, I don't know, how much maintenance do you do on your own vehicles?
Oh, I mean, I used to do a lot. When you
Yeah.
can get the stuff on a car, when they had the like I said, on the other stream, my first car was a '79 Chevy. You can get to everything. It had the
Oh
old
yeah.
fashioned V belt. You could do a tune up on it. Plaque back then,
Oh
plugs,
yeah.
wires. Nowadays, you can't get to much. I mean, I can't even. And the things I could do, I don't like to do. I don't like to do oil changes anymore because you have to take, like on the Prius,
Oh yeah.
you have to take off all this plastic stuff to get to it. And I don't like the internal oil filters, so I
Oh gosh.
unfortunately, yeah, you can't, you don't know when it's, yeah.
Yeah.
So I take it in nowadays.
Oh yeah, I hear you there. Let's see here. We've got Chitsa's here, Reefer Ricky from Australia. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Chad, we're just going to have to do one of these in the middle of the night so our friends over in Australia can actually catch us live without having to get up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
Grand
Chad's
Theft
down.
2P. Oh, yeah. That sounds awesome. Grand Theft 2P, one of our channel favorites here. We love you. M. Adams, hey, welcome. Julie Borbley. All right.
A lot of people.
Put a little water in your hair. LOL.
Yeah, someone said if I got a haircut, I'm like, no, you contacted me pretty late, and I'm like,
Yeah.
real quick.
That's all I do. I mean, I keep mine short enough. I literally just put some water in my hair and brush it. So let's see here. Let's see here from Julie. Let's see. You're not old, John. It's more of a matter of sometimes I really feel like my knee is swollen about twice the size right now as what it normally is. So sometimes I'm feeling pretty old. So, and there is the legend,
Hey,
Nasty
hey.
Nathaniel. Was just talking to Nasty the other day. We were messaging back and forth. We're going to be getting back together for another live stream with Nasty. Always a favorite of everybody who comes to the channel, and he's a great guy. I consider him a friend. I've learned
Same
a
here.
lot of stuff watching his content. Chad, I know you have. So
Oh, I catch all the stuff I could of his for sure.
I love his runs to the Canadian border. Those crack me up. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
I caught
no,
that one too. Yeah,
I'm banned from Canada, but I
he
don't know if
goes,
I'm
yeah,
in there or not.
he goes right to the edge.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if you don't have people like, thank you, Nasty. If you don't have folks like Nasty Nathaniel out there testing the boundaries, that's how authoritarian and tyrannical type people take power. They are always pushing the envelope of what their authority is and how far that they can restrain the people that they're supposed to be serving. So you got to have folks that'll jump in there like Nasty, and they're willing to test those boundaries. So, what do you think,
Yeah.
Jed?
Oh, I definitely agree. Definitely
Yeah,
agree. We need people like Nate.
exactly. And then we found, oh no, this is a shady character here. Our
Hey, Joel.
friend Joel is in the house. Thank you, Joel. Oh, Boss Mama Goldie has arrived. Sorry about that, Goldie. It was a scheduling error on my part. I literally thought I had scheduled it for today, and apparently I scheduled it for next week. I'm going to change it over to Thursday for you, and I'll let you know. And and Hada's here, 69 and 90 degrees here.
Yeah, it's 90 over here too.
Yeah. Come on now. It's supposed to be getting time for the rain and the chill and the nice build up to Halloween. And oh man, 90 degrees. I'm out there sweating like crazy. So let's see. Grand Theft Hoopty, I need some fatherly advice. Fatherly car advice coming up here soon. But my dad is is drunk and it's too long for a chat. So I'll send you another coffee. Thank you. You know what? I'm not a mechanic. Okay. I'm a home mechanic. I work on my own stuff. I generally don't work on other people's stuff. I take that back. I have, in the monster truck world, I've done work for other people, simply because that's just not a world where you can really, you got to know what you're doing on these things. This one right here, my last ride truck that I had, that thing weighed 17,000 pounds. So that's not something you just, pull out your set of Harbor Freight or Princess Tool economy set you've got and work on them. But
you definitely got to order those brakes, Bo. It's not nothing you got in stock.
Oh yeah. Well, especially with that one, the way it works, folks, is you've got an engine, and that bolts to the transmission. The transmission runs a shaft into what's called a transfer case. And what that's doing is it looks literally like a big block of aluminum that hangs down underneath the center of the chassis. The input shaft comes in from the motor and transmission into the transfer case, and then it splits out to the two axles into the feed face of the axles, or the pumpkin, whichever differential, whichever you want to call it. And that's what turns the axles to make the tires turn. Well, at the end of mine, the final gear ratio on it was 17-1. So for every one time I wanted to turn the tires, one complete revolution, the drive shaft from the transfer case to the axle had to turn 17 times. All right. And that's low. It's gear reduction that you're using. It gives it greater torque and it gives it the ability to turn those 1,000-pound tires. So thinking of that, talking to some people that I know that are actual professionals in the monster truck world, I came up with a plan mounting disc brakes onto the output shafts of the transfer case. And believe it or not, to go from having the brake mounted on the axle itself to having it mounted there, it was night and day. I could stop that thing and it would literally lock up the tires on it. So it was good stuff there. Let's see. And Hoopty wants some advice on a new car. Let's see. What are they saying? 2005 Pilot won't be legal to drive in New York roads after winter, so I need new car advice. It's been a while since I bought a new one. Yeah, you're singing to the choir there. My wife's had new cars. My kids have all had new cars. I haven't had a new car. 2013 was the last time I bought a new car. So, and Creepy's in here. Eagle Eye. So yeah, Hoopty, there's a lot of options. Just let me know what it is that your needs are and how that can, maybe we can guide you down the road. Chad's also really good with this, and he knows more about the hybrid electric side of it than I do.
I know what I would recommend you.
I know what you'd be recommending.
No, all around great car.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Even speaking for nothing crazy, but I would get a Toyota RAV4 plug-in.
That's one of the nice things about the Toyotas is they last forever. They literally do. And it depends on what your needs are, Grand Theft. What are you doing? Like for me, the new vehicle I'm looking at, I need a pickup truck. I need something that I can haul a trailer with. I need something that's 4-wheel drive, and I need the bed to put stuff in to haul around. I don't want to be having an SUV because, you know, I do the monster truck stuff. I do other stuff. And that's some nasty stuff to be putting in on that carpet of a brand new vehicle. So a bed works out great for me. And so I need something like that. I need something that I can haul stuff around. I'm looking at, I don't want a full size like a 1500 or an F-150. They just suck up too much gas. And if I'm helping the wife with her courier service, you know, I'm going to be driving 150 miles a day. So I want something that's going to be good on gas, but be able to meet my needs. And I'm looking at one of those Ford Mavericks. I think those are nice little trucks, and they'll do the job. Let's see. We've had a few more people come in. Shell is here. Hey, Shell. Good luck putting your hands on a new RAV4 period. Hey, don't rain on his parade.
I know, right?
No, I'm joking. Let's see. Evelyn, welcome back. Hey, how's it going, hon? Thank you. Uh-oh. And I heard what Marilyn said about gingers. Alex, oh my gosh. Juliana Pittsford is here. Hola. Welcome from Brazil.
Hey, Julie.
We love Julie. She's part of the family here for us, and we just have a great time. But the real ginger monster has arrived. Marilyn calling me out for being a ginger. Though, in all honesty, I am. I was born. My younger pictures of me, I literally look like I had flames on the top of my head. That's how red my hair was. Let's see here. Let's see. Hey,
Betgo's here.
It's pouring rain.
Oh, that's good. You need rain, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Love the. Wait a minute. That's what flooded my basement. Okay, as long as the power doesn't go out, I'll be okay. Work with developmentally disabled. If I call out, nobody else is coming, so I need reliable. Are you also transporting them? Because that's going to help in a determination as well. Let's see. Shell, Toyota's having a hard time keeping vehicles on their lots. A lot of Toyota dealers are using SRP instead of MSRP. Yeah, and that's one of the things the Ford dealers have been getting called out on. I went online with Ford, and I did the Ford Bronco build your own Bronco thing. And what happened was I got a price of like $32,000, $34,000. I can't remember the exact price. That was the vehicle I wanted. They said they had one that matched my options at this Ford dealership. I went to the Ford dealership, and that exact same vehicle with the exact same things that I wanted in it ended up being $52,000. And when I asked the salesperson about it, I said, why is this one $18,000 more than what I priced online? He literally looked at me and said, supply and demand. So, you know, I know here in Michigan, we have a law against price gouging. It shouldn't be allowed. Let me shut this window. As much as I love to hear that rain, my goodness. You know, so, but, you know, you call up our state attorney general and say, hey, they're price gouging. They're like, don't have time for it. So Creepy's in here. Batgoat is in here. Uh-oh. Word up, SPs, a cop and medic friends. That's nice. Good stuff. Let's see here. Got Lolo is here. Song only a ginger. There you go. Yeah. Singer Tim mentioned song only a ginger. Yeah. They, you know, and I play around with Alex a lot about that, about him being a ginger and all. You know, of course I play with the fact that you know, South Park did the episode and saying gingers have no soul and everything, but I was a ginger, and you know, it's amazing as I've grown older, my hair has gotten darker and darker, and now if you can see it, I'm starting to get some nice salt and pepper action going in there. Chad, did you see who's here?
Double tap.
Double Tap's in the house. I heard you earlier about that ginger stuff, Marilyn. You better get Duncan on here. I need someone who has my back. So, Chad and Marilyn had a real good live stream earlier today. Just one of those pop-up live streams like we're doing now. And I'd say, you know, it was a real good one. I jumped in the chat earlier, and it was just nice to see my friends there. Still need that proof of life, Marilyn. Still need that proof of life. My buddy Dave from Gotta Love Thailand is in here. Thank you, Dave. As always, it's an honor to have you in here, bud. Dave, you going live tonight? I know last time you jumped in, and before I got a chance to say anything, you'd already jumped back out. Did I say Creepy's here?
Yep.
Creepy's in the house. So one of the original viewers from the channel there, Creepy. It's a great one. All right, Dave, wow. Awesome, Dave. Do me a favor and throw your link in there for your live stream, folks. If you get a chance, jump over to Dave's live stream. Gotta Love Thailand has some great content, has some great insight into being someone from a different country living in Thailand, and just how the guy looks like he's just having a wonderful life. And I think we should have him sent back to America and beaten mercilessly for it. So no, Dave's a good guy. Let's see. Alex, are gingers naturally clear because we have no soul? That might be interesting. You may not be susceptible to body thetans. I did not love that. Like that. That's good. Oh, let's see here. Goldie threw up the link there. So folks, later on, Dave is going to be going on with his Gotta Love Thailand live stream. He's like I said, he's an awesome guy. He's a friend of mine, and I can't wait till we get to go on that ride together in Thailand. That's going to be amazing. M. Adams, question: have you visited the Middle East? I'm looking at possibly going next year. I have Saudi Arabia, Dubai. Of course, was in two of our favorite countries over there. I've been to Egypt, and honestly, right now, I wouldn't recommend it. There's a lot of turmoil going on. Dubai, United Arab Emirates, those are safer places where you don't have to worry about it as much. But a lot of other places, I'm one of those. I don't care if I want to go to a country. I don't care how bad the country is. I'll go. And I'll go check out, I'll even go down the, some of the craziest alleys and stuff like that. And, but right now I wouldn't tempt going over to the Middle East. I just, unless you're going to one of those countries where, everything's good, there's just a lot of instability over there right now. And I don't want to see anybody caught into a situation that's not going to be good for them. Let's see. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Yeah, if I have turned on my super chats back on, but the problem is again, I keep getting hit with strikes. What did I do Sunday night with Jeffrey that would cause me to get a community guideline violation?
Should be nothing.
Nothing. There was no vulgarity. There was nothing in there that was triggering, but yet I got hit with one, and I'm waiting for my review. So folks, I prefer if you do want to support the channel, head on over to Buy Me a Coffee, and Alex put the link in there, and you can support from there. And as I always say, and I truly mean it, every penny that comes in goes directly to improve the quality of the content that I'm putting out. New cameras, new lighting. And believe me, you go through lighting a lot in this stuff. They burn out quickly. Let's see here. Butch Coon, Big Poe fan. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. All right. So, Chad, we were talking about I'm whooped, man. Been a couple of days being real busy with stuff. I missed your live stream last night, and it was just crazy.
Well, yeah, it's hard to watch everything, Paul.
It's hard to jump in on all of them. And the next thing is that yesterday the wife's car needed new brakes. You got to remember, my wife owns courier service. Sometimes she'll put upwards of 300 miles on her car in a day, so she goes through brakes pretty quick. And so yesterday was out getting the brake parts. I broke one of my on my ratchet. I broke one of the sockets for my ratchet, and it was the 14 millimeter, which is what you need to take the links off so you can remove the pads from the cradle and remove the piston from the cradle as well. So my 14 millimeter and you know what? It was a Craftsman. This thing's got to be 30 years old, and it just finally broke, and I had to end up putting you can't go anywhere to trade a Craftsman in anymore. So I had to go to local tool store and get the new set of sockets. It was actually cheaper for me to buy a whole new set of 24 sockets than to just buy a singular socket. It was going to cost like $5 for the single socket, and it was $13 to buy 24. So go figure there. And so then the next thing was I went to my regular parts place to pick up the brake pads and the rotors for the car. They had the pads and rotors, but didn't have the hardware kit. And if anybody knows, you can use the old springs that are on there, that are on the brakes and everything. But I like to go with new ones just for the simple fact that I know that they're new and that they're not possibly worn out or damaged. So I had to go to yet another auto parts store to get the hardware for it. When I got to that hardware store, they had them available, just not at that location. I had to drive 7 miles away over to their warehouse to go pick up the parts and then get home. So it took me about a good 2 hours doing all the running just to get the parts. And then I get back, and I got to change out the brakes, and I look up and I'm like, I've done missed they've already started their live stream, and I'm, my hands look like I'd been digging coal all day. So that just wasn't going to happen. But that brings me into a point that I want to talk about tonight. It's going to be kind of a bridgeway into what's going to be Thursday night, when I talk about Louis Rossmann and Scientology fighting right to repair. So I figured tonight we'd do a little segue into the actuality of what right to repair is, why it is important, why we need that ability, and why the DMCA, which I'll pull that up right now. The DMCA is the Digital Millennial Copyright Act. All right. And what's going on with that is the Digital Millennial Copyright Act from 1998. And what it does is it criminalizes production and dissemination of technology, devices, or services intended to circumvent measures that control access to copyrighted works. Now, in a lot of ways, we see that here on YouTube and on other streaming platforms, where if you have content and you're putting it out there and you think that someone has illegally used your content, then you have the right to go through the DMCA. DMCA can put a strike against you and actually have your content taken down, or they can go so far as having your account closed down. It's a scary thing, because when you start getting into the bowels of the actual DMCA, it has different amendments to it and different subsections to it that actually stop you from being able to do work on property that you already own. Like this right here. All right. Apple is notorious for what goes on with right to repair. All right. You can't get certain parts. The certain parts are illegal to buy. It's crazy. And the response is if you break it, you have to go to a certified, licensed, connected repair person to work on that piece of equipment. And it's already been shown, video after video after video, where people have taken their Apple devices to an Apple repair facility, and they've told them, well, it's done, you can't do anything about it. And then turn around and you find someone like Louis Rossmann, and he's saying, no, that's not the point at all. A lot of times it can be repaired, and showing how things can be repaired. I've seen him where he's shown pieces of equipment that have actually shown the marking that would say that it was water damaged on equipment that's never been anywhere near water. Literally, the moisture in the air has set these off. So, it's things like this where you're buying something. It's like buying this cup of coffee, and then the company turn around and telling me you can own the coffee, but you can't drink it, because the coffee itself is our copyrighted material. And by drinking it, you're going to get access to our copyright, which is the recipe that we use to make that coffee. And That's the thing. Yeah, Batgoat. Exactly. Batgoat creepy. Yep. Louis Rossman made Congress pay attention. He rules. So in the links to this video and for the one Thursday night, there is going to be it's a link to Louis Rossman's YouTube channel. Make sure you get over there, check him out, find out more on his side of it, what's going on with Right to Repair, why he's fighting certain things. He set up some nonprofits so he can actually go out and lobby politicians himself. I think that's absolutely awesome because these corporations have unending amounts of money, which they are turning around and they are using to lobby congressmen and senators, members of Congress and members of the Senate. Oh, where did you go, Dave? Where did you go? Not given permission, and that's why they call you Bad Santa. So let's see here. Shell, I hadn't heard of Louis Rossman until he said he wouldn't mess with Scientology. I'll be watching more of his channel. Yeah, and you know what? I can't blame him, and I'm going to go into that on Thursday night when I do the live stream, talking about him and what's going on with the whole thing that he brought up about Scientology and the Right to Repair. Now, where this gets really, really interesting is that what I did yesterday to my wife's car, under the DMCA, my wife has a 2009 Ford Focus. Okay. First off, it should not have been that hard to find parts for a Ford Focus. I mean, they only made 30 gazillion of them in the time that they were manufacturing these things. So it shouldn't be that hard to find the parts. Secondly, if under what they want to do with the DMCA, I wouldn't be allowed to change the brakes, change the tires, change the oil on my wife's car. And the reason, you're checking on your rice soup, are you? You live in Thailand, you're eating rice soup. Why not Pat Krapow, Lard Ploduc? Why not some fresh mango, pineapple, coconut? But, under the DMCA, if the company wanted to fight it enough, you wouldn't be able to do any of those things. You wouldn't be able to change the windshield wipers on your car. All right. Chad and I have talked about it before. There are auto manufacturers out there that are actually putting new equipment into cars that you may not have ordered. One of them we talked about was BMW, where they're putting the seat heaters in the cars. And then if you want to use your seat heaters, you have to pay a subscription fee to be able to use the seat warmers. Okay. I didn't ask for those in my car. I don't ever use seat warmers. I got a big butt. I don't have to worry about it. I heat things up pretty quick. So, I don't need seat warmers in my car. Don't put them in my car. I won't have a choice. If they do that, the thing is that I won't have a choice to do what, to have the parts that I want on the car. They're just going to put what they want on there and then make me pay a fee to be able to use them. I've already got to pay for YouTube Premium so I don't get ads when I'm watching things. We have a subscription to HBO Max. We have a subscription to Amazon Prime. All right. And we don't even have television service in our home anymore. We watch everything through streaming because I'm just sick and tired of turning on the television and nothing but ads. You get to watch 5 minutes of programming and then you get to watch 10 minutes of ads. Not doing it anymore. So I pay for this. Oh, and we got Netflix also. So, that's the thing is that if these companies are allowed to continue with this stuff, it will be, how far is it going to go before you don't actually own anything? Ferrari already has it on certain models of Ferrari cars. If you buy it, you cannot legally change the color or appearance of that vehicle. To do anything like that has to be approved by them, and it has to go through someone that they recommend. Well, we all know what that means. That means that in a lot of cases like this, when it comes to repairing equipment and such, those places pay a fee to be associated with that brand. And then they get some kind of education, some kind of training to be able to be certified to work on that. And the problem with that is that they're going to charge you an arm and a leg to do it. And Chad, you've worked in the auto parts supply industry,
Absolutely.
and you know, I don't know about you. I miss the days of the mom and pop auto parts shops where I could walk in and I could hand the person behind the counter a serpentine belt from a car. They take a look at it and go, okay, that's for a 1978 Ford Fury, Plymouth Fury. And they would know exactly what it is. Nowadays, I go in and I say, I need this part number, such and such and such and such. They look at me and they go, okay, so you start hearing as they're typing on the computer because they don't know what the parts are. And they look at it and they go, what's this for? Well, great example. My 1941 Ford 9N tractor. That's not in their computer.
No.
All right. You can't just go in there and buy parts right off the shelf because they can't figure out what the parts are.
Yeah. No, I have examples of that too. The last parts store I worked in until last year, it's great that you could use the computer, but they got rid of the books. I'm like, geez, not everything's in the computers. You got to look at the books sometimes, guys, you know.
And I
so you have to tell the customer, no, you don't have it because there's no books anymore.
Yeah. And then how often are computers wrong? Says you have a part in stock, and then they go look at it and sorry, it's not actually back there. Somebody must take it off the shelf already and put it to the side for another customer. So, you know, I really, we've got one that's about 8 miles away from us. It's a mom and pop. It's a little more expensive, but I can go there and I can get all the parts that I need for my tractor, and I don't have to worry about going through these other companies where they don't actually know what they're talking about. So, you know, I walk right in and I handed the guy the carburetor. And I said, I need a rebuild kit for this. He looked at it and he goes, that's off an old Ford tractor, ain't it? Yes, it is. It didn't have any real markings on it. It just had some serial numbers and everything. But the guy literally just looked at it and he goes, yeah, it's an old Ford tractor carburetor. So, you know,
a lot better than I was. That's cool.
I can't do that. I can tell you that. Yeah. Let's see, Batgoat. I think Porsche got spanked with the U.S. right to repair recently. I'll have to look that up. It's a real possibility. They, you know, there's a lot of pushback coming on these industries and how they're handling things. And I'm going to get into some of those.
There's a couple cars, Poe. I forgot which ones, but like I said, I worked in a lot of auto parts stores, but recently we had a couple cars. I heard the story before I was there, but there's a couple cars, could have been Porsche, that you could take when you take the battery out and you put a new one in, the car will not start. It's got to be towed to the dealership.
Some of them do that because you have to have the right code to be able to put the new battery in. Which, what do you do if your battery fails on you and you get a jump start? Are you going to be in the same situation whereas it won't start because of the fact that it's not a dealership doing it for you or anything like that? Roscoe, get off my feet, boy. Roscoe's driving me nuts. We got a little bit of thunder going on out there, and he's not scared of it. Roscoe wants to attack it, but he knows because I keep stopping him from running. He literally runs right up to the windows and just goes berserk. He wants to get at that storm so bad. Crazy dog. You need to get off my feet. All right. So what he does is he gets on top of my feet and he does this thing where he just paws at my feet. Well, he's due in the next few days to get his nails trimmed. So guess what? He's scratching the crap out of my feet right now. So, all right. Calm down. Let's see, Dave. I eat what they make. My wife, mother-in-law. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to talk to her about easing up the whips on you there, Dave. You know, you grown man, you've been allowed to be doing stuff. So, no, I'm kidding. His wife seems like an amazing person. He's very happy, and seems like they take very good care of each other. Joel McQueen, it's much easier to get parts from my 1965 Marlin than my 2009 Chevy. This is nuts. 1965 Marlin. You remember that car, Chad?
No, I don't, honestly.
1965 Marlin. This thing will be something like an Edsel, is it? Ooh, okay. I'll pull up a nice picture of one.
All right.
So there we go. So everybody can see what old Joel's talking about there. See here. and that's what he's talking about. That's actually a pretty slick looking car.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
let's see here. What's Alex up there saying? Yeah. Okay. Alex is saying I have far too many subscriptions. Same. And the thing is that my kids have more than I do. My daughter, the great thing about that is I get to use their subscriptions and not have to pay for it. Um, you know, that's one of the crazy things about it is that there's everything has subscriptions. Everybody's rushing out to lock down content. So if you want to see what's going on, there's a show you wanted to see, you got to have a subscription to that channel, you got to have a subscription to this channel. I had one to Disney Plus for the Mandalorian. I really wanted to watch the Mandalorian, but I was smart. I waited until it had gone through most of it and then got the subscription and just binged watched it all. But yeah, I understand exactly.
Even the video cameras have the subscriptions, which I refuse to get.
Really?
At your house.
Really?
I know what
you're talking about, like the Ring cameras and all that stuff.
Just to view your own stuff. Yeah.
That's why I'm very cautious about it, because we know what's going on with the Chinese government and how they're doing things. I don't know if you can hear it, but we got a great storm going on out here. But the thing is that I don't like using anything that's like that's coming out of China, because I don't know if they're actually in their deep encoding or sending the information back to Chinese sources. And, but you can go on Amazon, different places like that, and you can actually find the kind of stuff that you need. Folks, I hear it coming down. So if I lose power, I didn't end it quickly without saying goodbye. So just be prepared for that. Evelyn Barney, not the same, but related subject, planned obsolescence. So bad in so many ways. Exactly. Companies literally, and that's not off topic, that I think that falls into the same category. Whereas if they can't lock it down through the DMCA or the refusal of right to repair, then the next thing is you just make it to the point where you can't get parts for it anymore. You can't fix it. Yeah. And that's a real thing that happens with a lot of companies. So, and the reason why is, it's going to force you to have to buy a new version of what you bought. Something that I thought was really amazing, and I saw this on Louis Rossmann. A lot of the all-in-one printer, scanner, whatever you call it, printer, scanner, copy, fax. I think that's what they include with them. A lot of those, you can buy them, and if you just wanted them simply for the fact of using it as a scanner and you didn't want to use it as a printer, a lot of them, what they're doing is, if you don't put the ink cartridges in there, then it won't work at all.
Wow.
How scummy is that?
It is.
I mean, I just shelled out, $200 for your stupid all-in-one inkjet. And what are you doing? If I don't put ink cartridges in it, I can't use it as a scanner. I don't print things anymore. It's not like it used to be. Everything that I need is sent from my computer, my laptop, whatever, sent to my cell phone so I can pull it up there. Why do I need to have ink cartridges in a printer I'm not going to use? Yeah. And I could tell you for a fact, I have a Kodak printer sitting in my garage right now. That was our backup printer in case the one that we have went down. And when I went to hook it up not too long ago, it wouldn't work without ink cartridges in it. So it gave me the error of your ink cartridges are low, replace them. It basically replace them so you can use it. So gotta love Thailand. Back right, his weight golden the day a counterman. Oh yeah, and Dave could tell you. Dave's an old biker like me. He remembers the day. I have a friend that works on Harley Davidson motorcycles. I can literally take him a bolt from a Harley, and he could tell me where it goes. Wow. Anything up to like the twin. He doesn't do any twin cam and newer work. He does all Evo and down.
You know what we say in the automotive aftermarket? We don't have nothing, Poe.
What?
We say to the customer, well, not this mean. Some people do say dealer or junkyard, and that's it.
Yeah. And that's the thing nowadays. If you can't find it any other way, salvage yards, junk yards, that's where you got to get your parts at.
Yeah.
We got a lot of places around here where I actually you go take your set of tools with you, find you call them up, say, hey, do you have this vehicle? Yep. Okay, pick and pay. So you have to go and you go out there and literally take the part off of it yourself. Betgo, yeah, they also were trying to avoid warranty. Yes, I'm going to get into that in just a little bit here as I start talking about heavy equipment and agricultural equipment as well. And that's where it starts getting, that's where it actually started with the right to repair and started making its way into the mainstream was with a lot of the agricultural equipment. But it's also the heavy equipment. I have a friend that owns an excavating and landscape supply company. Well, if you look at his equipment, he doesn't have any pieces that are newer than 10 or 15 years old. We're talking huge loaders, excavators, those kinds of things. It's not the kinds of things that go bad overnight. But the reason why he doesn't have any of the newer stuff is they're all computerized. They all have motherboards in them, and you can't repair them. If you try to do any repairs on them, you get these alarms, you get these warnings that you are violating and you have to go see a dealer to get it done. Well, think about this. If you wanted to do like I did yesterday, wanted to change the brakes on your car, you change the brakes out, get them all set, go in, pump the brakes up, get the piston reset, get the pressure reset in lines, start the car up, and the next thing you know, the car won't start. There's a warning on the dash, some kind of code. You take that code and it goes, it says something about illegal parts installed.
Wow.
You can't even change the brakes on your car. All right. To get this fixed, go see your dealer. Go call the dealer up, and it costs you $2,000 or $3,000 to get your brakes changed, just to get your pads and rotors changed. That's what we're talking about with this. What was going on was
I'm getting requests for the puppets. I'm sorry, Poe.
Hey, have at it. What was going on was you had farmers, and farmers are notorious for the fact that they work on their own equipment, or they have a local friend that is a certified mechanic or is someone good with that kind of equipment. And so a great one was a guy was changing, I believe he was out of Wisconsin, was changing the oil on his tractor, a $250,000 tractor. All he wanted to do was change the oil, the most simple of techniques that there are. An alarm sounded on the tractor, this like kind of noise. He can't get it stopped, can't figure out where it's coming from. He literally goes and pulls the battery. The alarm keeps sounding because it has an internal battery for the alarm. He finally contacts his John Deere representative and says, hey, this is going on on my tractor. And they say, what did you do? Well, I was changing the oil. You can't do that. You have to come in here per the rights and everything of that piece of equipment. All right. To get the oil changed was something like $5,000. You know, and I read the reports on this. I heard other YouTubers were talking about it, but I pay $250,000 for a piece of equipment. I better be able to go out there and cut that thing up into pieces if I want to, and not hear a beep out of anyone for it, because that's my equipment. Just like this car out here is my car. I should be allowed to be able to repair it, do any kind of changes to it that I want that do not violate the law or cause it to operate unsafe. And that's one of the problems that we have with it. Evelyn, but before I go, I want to mention you can't own most industry standard software anymore either. Yep. And that's one of the things is that you're finding out. It used to be when you wanted to get something, a great one on that used to be the Adobe products. You bought the old Adobe products, you got a CD, put that CD in your computer, entered the code in, you got the Adobe products there for your use. Then suddenly it started phasing into you have to download everything and run it that way and pay a subscription fee to run the Adobe products. Well, then there was a report that I read that said that Adobe was looking into the fact that if you were using old Adobe programs, that they could come after you for violating their intellectual property rights for using the old software. Well, wait a minute. I bought that. How in the world can you turn around and say no? There are programs out there that you can download to do video editing from your computer. One of the companies, you could buy what was called a lifetime subscription to it, and it unlocked everything. Well, they came out with newer versions of it, and they locked out everybody who bought lifetime subscriptions. They said you can't use it after version whatever. And so the folks went back and tried using the old version of it to find out that version had been disabled when they downloaded the newer version. So, you know, and there was a huge blow up on the internet about that. And this company lost a lot of money. But I think a lot of this other stuff is being pushed in under the radar, and a lot of people are not aware of what's going on with it. And, you know, it's nothing more than a money grab. They say, well, it's to protect our proprietary software and our proprietary programming. Really? I mean, let's be honest. Changing the oil in a tractor violates your intellectual property rights. Yep. Are you kidding me?
They're going too far.
Yeah. Let's see. Marilyn Hogan. I bet poor Duncan would want a Poe badge if he were still around.
I agree.
Poor Duncan. That poor guy. He gets, my goodness. Let's see. Hey, Fanatic, what's going on? Let's see here. Went to an auto store for left side control arm. They gave me the right side. 2 other stores, the same thing. They programmed the inventory wrong at the warehouse. Chad, having worked in that field, what do you
it does sometimes. I don't know about that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Of course, it could have. Sometimes when you bring out 2 calipers, you got the left side and the right side, and the customer, you got to keep your hands at them like a show. They want to, like, not even purposely, of course, but switch them. I'm like, you know. Yeah, so and then the next customer will get the wrong one.
Think about how many times people have walked out just because someone grabbed the wrong part. They walked out, went to replace it, and they're like, it don't work. So, yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
Or the other thing that happens a lot is I used to double check everything at least twice because I never like to get the wrong parts going to a parts store because, you know, you look at the shelf and if you're going real fast, you're going to just mix up the numbers or you get the one next to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like when I returned, I bought new pads and rotors for the Kia. And, you know, of course, the Kia has sadly gone to its demise after the Amazon semi drove over the front end of my car. So I took those pads and rotors back. And literally, they were about to have a fit at this auto parts store because on the top of the box, I wrote 2008 Kia Spectra. They about had a conniption. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're upset about this. These are parts for a 2008 Kia. And they're like, well, we can't have it out there with those things on the top of it like that. And I'm like, look, that ain't my problem. Here's your receipt. Here's the parts. That vehicle no longer exists. I'm returning the parts. And their policy is you got a receipt. You got the parts, you know. And I don't know if it was a matter of they just didn't want to work or they didn't want to do something, but life's rough. Joel McQueen, I have a 1949 John Deere, and the dealers will not even attempt to find you parts. But if you go to aftermarket, they will tell you to go to a dealer. I will tell you of a, yeah, they're here in Michigan, but you can order online. And I love this place. I've actually been to their actual store, and for vintage antique tractors, it's a toy store. And this is it. It is Steiner tractor parts. And I mean, literally, if you need something, they've got Alice Chalmers, Case, Ford, International, John Deere, Massey Ferguson, Massey Harris, Minneapolis Moline. When's the last time you heard of a Minneapolis Moline? You know, and then you've got the Olivers as well. Now, in with the Ford series and all that, that's also going to include the Ferguson series, which are what the Ford tractor series, the 8 9, 2, and 8N Ford tractors were based off of. So that's that's a great place. And just look it up, Steiner, Steiner. It's a great place. You can go in there. I could literally go in there and find all the parts that I need to rebuild my 1941 Ford 9N from the ground up. Everything there. Evelyn, then do this evil thing where students high school through grad school get all the top line most recent. Oh yeah. And then I see what you're talking about, where they donate them to the schools and to the educational systems, and the next thing that you know, they're turning around once they graduate, and they're used to using these. They become very proficient with them. Now they're having to pay these extraordinary prices for them. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Don't worry about not being able to type. Let's see. Oh, you saw that look, did you? Double tap. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I think Duncan's out with his brother out fishing or something. That's your latest excuse as to why we don't get to see Duncan, is he's out fishing. It's amazing how many trips this man takes. Joel, definitely give them a look. I highly recommend them. They have good prices on their parts. Here is where it gets interesting. Some of the things that I do is I will go out generally in springtime and in fall. I will drive around. Another reason why I need a pickup truck instead of an SUV is I will drive around, and people will literally put good working order equipment out on the curb to go out for trash. Lawn push mowers, riding mowers, snow blowers. So I will bring them back, and I turn around and I'll go through them and I'll give them a tune up, make sure everything's good to go. I'm going to pull the plug, make sure the plug's clear, make sure it's the right spacing and everything like that, clean it up. I'm going to go through and I'm going to rebuild the carburetor, clean the carburetor out, put all new gaskets, new seals, look at the jets, make sure everything's good to go with it. Put it back together, start it up, make sure it's running, and then I'm going to turn around and sell it. And if I need to, I'll go through and I'll sandblast rust or anything off of it. I'm going to repaint it. If I need to do repairs on anything, I do that. One of the best ways I've found to be able to do this is they all have certain types of carburetors on them. There's only so many engine manufacturers out there that are actually making the engines for these things. So I go on Amazon and I look up a new carburetor. Say if I've got 2 Craftsman push mowers and I want to rebuild both carburetors, I can go to Amazon. I can buy a brand new carburetor that is going to come with a complete rebuild and gasket set extra from the carburetor that you're buying. If I want to buy the rebuild kit, it's like $50. To buy the carburetor with an extra rebuild kit attached to it is like $30. So I get both lawnmowers taken care of. One of them gets a brand new carburetor, and I'm going to ask for a few bucks more for it because it's a brand new carburetor. And but the thing is that there are outlets for these kinds of things. One of the things I found out is those old Ford tractors use carburetors that are very similar to Harley Davidson motorcycle carburetors from the old school Harley motorcycles. And I'm not talking the actual OEM Harley carburetor. I'm talking about the aftermarket carburetors that go for them. So that's one of the things that that I think is real good. Let's see here, Tom Ulrich, and thank you for joining us. Fast to trash, more cash. Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Maryland, you went and logged up under his name and came on here and acting like Duncan. Hey, y'all, we're up in New Hampshire at the lake. Me and Al spent the afternoon driving around in his what? All right, there we go. 1960. Oh, wow, dude. Wow. Oh, man, that's awesome. And you're celebrating your 40th anniversary of the Western trip in it. Dude, that's so cool. Wow. All right, Marilyn, you're off for today. So the simple reason that the VW Bug was brought up is proof of life in itself. So Batgoat, I donated my car to the DAV. They don't resell them. They give them to disabled vets. It's a good charity. It absolutely is.
That's great.
And I can tell you, lots of friends, family have been members of the DAV. And it is an amazing organization that helps our disabled veterans. And you know what, folks, they're, you know, children and our veterans, I think that's how children's charity, disabled veterans, and then start going down from there. That's how I look at it. Yeah, I'm a little jaded for the fact that, you know, I am an Army veteran, and we, you know, so that makes it a little better for me. Let's see. They changed the mods now. Wow. I think that any way that they can find that they can force an extra penny out of you, squeeze an extra penny out of you, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Chad, have you had any kind of incidents where you've had to run into this kind of stuff?
The which example, Paul? What?
Like with the being unable to work on your own stuff.
Oh, I thought I was going to run into an issue with the Prius. I thought I was going to have it towed to the dealership.
Didn't you have like the death triangle on there?
Yeah, I thought it was, but I think that was, believe it or not, you know, looking back, I think it was the either it was on and that came off, or it was like the trunk was the back. It has the back deck trunk. I think that might have been open because that's been giving me a problem. So I think that's what the triangle was. That's why I thought the car. Yeah. That's why I never had it fixed, because I thought it was going to cost a lot of money, but it started right out. So no, I almost ran into it, but
now, how much was that brand new battery set for that car? What was the price on that?
Oh, well, I only replaced the 12-volt battery. It's like $200.
But I meant if you had to change the big battery set on it.
Oh, I never looked it up, because you know what? Really? They tell you.
It's too expensive.
I know people. Well, they say it's a lifetime battery, life of the car. It's supposed to last the life of the car.
Let's see. Backcoat $500 tax write-off doesn't suck either. Yeah. You know, we normally never, you know, and I don't down anybody that does that. But anytime I'm doing something like that, I never take it as a tax write-off. We give a lot of money to St. Jude. Let me tell you, St. Jude Children's Hospital down in Nashville. We had a situation with our child where, let's just say that there were issues, and it was going to be beyond the ability of the hospitals around us. And St. Jude came to us, said, you bring your child down, and, you know, not only are you not going to have to pay for the medical bills for it, but we're also going to give you some place to stay. And, you know, we were actually working with the University of Michigan at that point on it. And it was, it ended up, it wasn't good. But St. Jude were like angels to us. They treated us so well. So we do a lot to support St. Jude. We make sure we give every year. If we don't get our packet asking us to donate to St. Jude, we're calling them up, finding out where it is. But, you know, that's an organization I stand behind, and I think they're definitely worth the support. And we don't take that off of our taxes. You know, the great thing about it is with taxes now is that they have a box where you can just check it, and it automatically takes a certain amount off for giving to charitable needs. So, but yeah, it's, you know, for us, and I don't, you know, if you do that, by all means, save that buck wherever you can. But yeah, it's just been a standing rule of mine. I never, ever, you know, St. Jude, DAV, I don't write them off my taxes, because it's, for me, it's given from the heart, and I make sure I stand behind them. So, Duncan Honig, 15,000 miles, 40 states, 3 months in 1983. And I was talking the other time about doing the border loop. And yeah, it took us over. I was like 1 month, 2 months, I can't remember. I was talking to a buddy of mine that rode with me, and yeah, that was almost 4 months to circle the United States. And that was literally sleeping at rest stops, on picnic tables, or on benches, on sleeping bags. You know, we didn't stay at hotels, anything like that. We'd go, we'd get gas, we'd lay down for an hour or two, get enough shut-eye just to keep us going. You know, so it took a lot less time than it would if we were staying at hotels and stuff like that. So Marilyn Hona, good assessment. I would never have thought to talk about the VW. I knew it. I knew it.
Mhm.
And Batgoat says he can fix your Prius, Chad. With
He's a
a
good guy.
sledgehammer and a 6-pack of Paps. All right, no
We'll
charge.
see if it breaks down next time, maybe.
Bump it up some Heineken for him. Yeah. Let's see. I've paid the government a lot, a lot in my life. And again, I'm not knocking you for it. I honestly, that is absolutely, you're right. It's just, there's certain things for me, and I don't know, is stupidity, whatever you want to call it, but it's one of those things where it's a matter of, to me, it's an honor to be able to donate to these groups, and with the way that they've treated us and the things that they've done, I just absolutely, I want to get back and for me, for some of them, most of them, yeah, I'm going to take the tax write off, but for some of them, it just doesn't feel right to me taking that tax write off. And Joel, I believe it was, I threw the link in there for the Steiner tractor, so you can actually go to the website there on that. And like I said, they're real great people. They're easy to deal with. They'll talk to you at length about things, and they know what they're talking about. Also, if you have an older tractor and you want to do some work on it, you don't know what's going on with it, there's a ton of videos on YouTube for that kind of stuff. I'm actually going to have some coming out where I'm going to be working on the old 9N myself. I'm going to actually take the top, the whole front end of it, and the top of it is a gas tank, and then it comes down over the front of it, and it becomes the grill section. So I'm taking that whole thing off, going in there, all new spark plugs, all new spark plug wires, going to rebuild the carburetor, repaint a bunch of stuff. I'm going to get it looking brand new again. I've been sitting for a little bit. We just haven't had the need to have the tractor out. And then recently we had to with all the big storms. And yeah, she was running a little rough, so I'll take care of it. Thematic High Desert Roller. Apple, the worst for copyright work. Yeah, they and if you watch any of Lewis, by the way, again, the links are in the description for Louis Rossmann, and he goes into great detail about how a lot of these parts that people are going to what do they call it, the Genius store or the Apple store, and the Genius, whatever it's called, but they're going there and they're telling them, oh no, it's screwed up, you can't fix it, you got to go ahead and just buy a new one. We'll take the old one from you. What are they doing with the old one?
Yep.
What are they doing with it? So, he's showing how they can actually be, they can be repaired. They can be taken care of. And there are certain things that if you do it, you're just not going to be able to access all of the abilities and things like that. So, and as was mentioned earlier, and who was that by? Let me find it real quick. Yeah. That Evelyn talking about phasing things out. Genius Bar. Thank you, Batgoat. The thing is that, hey, Tiff, what's going on?
Hey, Tiff.
Yeah, our buddy Tiff's here. So what they do is, like with my daughter, she had several old iPhones. And she was like, instead of going out and paying a couple grand for a new phone, why don't I just go ahead and get these updated and get them going? You can't even get service for them anymore. You can't get updates for them. Wow. And she was ready to be pickled because she loved those phones. They worked great. So let's see. Catherine Reynolds. My dad had a 59 Ford pickup. The fuel pump failed. He got a new one, put it in. The truck wouldn't start. He kept going out and trying to figure out why. Watched the car repair show, had it hooked up backwards. And that happens. That exactly happens in situations like that. And it's so easy. I had a friend who had a zero-turn mower. The zero-turn mower ran out of gas. He couldn't get it restarted. Couldn't figure it out. Was ready to tear the whole engine apart. I came over, I sat down, I looked at it, and I go, did you disengage the blades? What do you mean? Well, it's got a button right here. Push the button, and it engages the blades. Pull the button, and it disengages them. He's like, I literally disengaged the blades, put the key in, started right up. And very simple thing. I do stuff like that. I've done it. So, don't feel bad if you do. Those things happen. I have friends that are mechanics that'll be sitting there just scratching, ready to scratch blood, and because they can't figure out why something's not working. one of a friend of mine was working on a loader, and he called me up and he's like, hey, he goes, man, I can't figure this out. I am trying to get this loader to work. And I can't get the bucket to go up and down. I can't get the arms to move it. I went over and I took a look and I said, hey, have you ever thought about hooking those hydraulic lines actually up to the pump? He had changed out the hydraulic lines, hooked them up to the cylinders, but never hooked them up to the pump. So, guy had been out there working 18 hours on this thing. So let's see. Shell. Okay, you guys having a conversation there. So let's hear some thoughts here, Chad.
Yeah. I'm all for the right to repair. Like I said, I purposely buy things like that don't require the service. If there's a service on it, like I was saying, the cameras, I won't get those cameras. And
yeah, it's I won't have anything to do with any of those where I have to actually. I was all against the fact of when they started implementing, and this will probably age me pretty well, when they started implementing that you had to register the programs online to be able to use them.
Yeah, like Microsoft, right?
Adobe, Microsoft, there were a lot of them. There were, back in the day, I was still using video editing software. One of them that I was using, I can't remember what the name of it is now, but before it would let me even start using the program, I had to go online and register it. And, that was back when I was doing the promotional work, where I was doing the MMA shows, doing the monster truck shows. I like to record my own events, edit them out into actual programs. And we actually did pretty good at selling DVDs of the previous events. So let's see, Deviant Outcast, 3 a.m. I'm desperate to stay awake. I've slept 3 to 5 hours a night since Thursday. Cannot go to sleep or I could lose my home. Wow. Brain slowly dying. Anxiety says I'm alive, good and bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Here we got a lot of things that can help you herbally to get to sleep pretty good. We specifically have stuff that's what it's for. It's help to get you to sleep. And, I got to tell you, I've said it before. One of the big things is that I have I have a lot of pain and I have a lot of injuries to my body from when I was younger. One of them is my knee is very bad. Right now it's swollen almost double its size. And the thing is that, the pain medicines don't help with the pain. But, I do use CBD, and CBD is legal here in Michigan. So I use that, and amazingly, my joints hurt less. There's a lot of other, other things that I could be using that, they're not good for me. So with this, I'm happy to, happy to have something that's not only not very expensive, but is also not going to cause any long-term damage to me as opioids or something like that would. Okay. I was wondering what you were saying, Chitsa. Try retyping that. Let's see here. Not all tools don't come with directions. And I tell you what, if you're ordering parts offline and you're not real familiar with it, you could find that it's very easy, like with that fuel pump, to turn it around and it not work. Hey, Bruce, let's see, Cantus Sessi. Genius Bar is now called Cross Sale Bar. Okay. Yeah, I've always wondered where they came up with the term genius for a lot of that stuff. Because the people working at the Genius Bar, I've been there and actually seen them turn around and take stuff back to the back, and someone else actually repairs it. So let's see. I have a mower that would bog down and run only on full choke once it got hot. Tried everything. One day loosened the gas cap and it ran. Drilled a hole in it. It runs fine now. That is it sounds like what you were getting was some kind of vapor lock in the carburetor there, or something in that area, or it wasn't allowing the vacuum from the gas cap to displace the air and fuel mixture. Yeah, I've seen that, and it'll sit there and you're just literally like, it'll drive you nuts. Yeah, there we go. Back out in the Navy. I remember. Did you check the on/off button? There's been a lot of times that I've seen that happen. Hey, Maggot, how about the fact that it is just more cost effective to be able to repair your own things? Not everyone can afford to take things they own to a shop if they don't have a lot of money. And I think that where a lot of this, and I agree 100%. I would rather be able to sit at home and fix something like my lawnmower, my zero turn, my car, fix it myself. It only costs me the parts. And if you have someone that's a mechanic, oftentimes you can get mechanics rates for the parts, which are much less expensive than the public consumer rates are.
Yeah.
You know, so I would just tell my friends that are mechanics, I say, hey, order me this up, order me that up. And I'll give you the cash. You go pick it up for me. And that's how I just go in and say, hey, I'm picking it up for this person. And it would be all set. And you would not believe the price difference between public and professional pricing for parts. Chad, can you explain?
Oh, absolutely. That's true. Yeah, that's true. You got to and you could just go in there and just say, this is, Poe on the go. Just make up a shop name and they'll just make you an account most times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, around here, you have to show them like your DBA or your licensing or something like that to get those kind of commercial accounts.
I mean, yeah, if you talk to the right guy, just say cash and tax it,
Yeah, Chad was working at my local parts store. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it's much cheaper to go and do that. Where I draw the line is like if you need alignment, something like that, or if I have to do something from the front end where it's going to require an alignment. We've got something here is called Bell Tire. Take it there, and literally, I think it's like $125 for a front end alignment, and then you pay an extra $25, and for the rest of the year, you can take it in as many times as you want and get a free alignment. So, for us, where we're putting huge miles on our vehicles, every year, that works out great. My wife is constantly going in, getting her tires rotated and balanced, and she'll get a front end alignment done while she's there. And then most of the time she'll get an oil change as well. Tom, yeah, I figured that was a joke, bud. Let's see. Chitza, I dropped my V-Storm. A few days later, it stopped cranking. Battery fine. Mechanic couldn't figure it out. Man, let's see. Okay. And there's a follow-up to it. Google V-Storm won't start. Clutch safety, which had dislodged. I plugged it in and wrote on. Excellent. There you go. And I always love hearing folks talking about, I have something like that, and it's not working. I looked it up, found it out. Didn't cost. What did it cost you? Yeah. So let's see. Backgoat. A lot of us want to turn wrenches at home, just normal. Oh yeah. If you've got the space and the ability to do it, what's wrong with it? Just make sure you're checking everything out. First few times, if you got someone who's good with doing that stuff, have them there just to watch, make sure you're doing everything right. There's nothing wrong with wanting to work on your own things. And, that's part of American culture is the dad and, one of the kids or something like that out in the driveway, wrenching on the car and things like that. That's part of our culture. I wish our government could get with the times and research, as our laws say they must, but nope, not when it comes to good old, MJ and the short-sighted hypocrisy in the name of the government. And that's the thing is, and then when you actually start looking into the reasons why that is illegal, why it was illegal in the first place, and you find out it was nothing more than corporate capitalism. That's what it started off at. Let's see, Duncan Honed. I worked parts for a few years back before computers. There were 4 different price levels. Wow, what were they? That's I know you got to have public, and then probably professional mechanic. But I'd love to hear what the other 2 are.
Yeah, we in New York we just had the 2.
Let's see here, Deviant. I'm glad to have some familiar voices to hold me company. It's kind of surprisingly comforting. Good, thank you. If you want to hear something that's going to knock you out, go watch my video on rain and Bangkok there. That one, it's a ASMR, and it's nothing but rainfall from Bangkok, and that one worked out. I was real happy with that one.
It's a good video.
I actually use that when I need to go to sleep myself, so there's a link to it if you need to. I'm one of those, I sleep for 5 hours at a time a night anyway. I've done that for most of my life. It started when I was in the military, and then as a police officer, it just carried on. I still get up very early. For years, I was used to getting up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. And, the thing is that, even though I'm retired now, it's still basically in my DNA. It's like nomenclature, things like that, where I say cop type of talk, or with our SPs that are now, no longer part of Scientology, they still use Scientology nomenclature, Scientology speak. So believe me, I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Ulrich, most good thinking comes from consumers. Yeah, I mean, look at how many new parts, new tools, things like that people going out there and working on their own equipment said, hey, this is an easier way that you can do it, and this is a way that'll fix it better for you. So let's see. Catherine Reynolds, my dad tried to get me to be his helper, but every time I got oil or grease on my hands, I had to wash them. Maybe that's why I'm a nurse now. Hey, I bet you get some worse stuff on your hands now. Ooh. Let's see. Green sheet was mechanics. White or yellow was walk-ins. About double. Whoa. And the others were in between. Wow. That's crazy. Let's see. How prevalent is nomenclature, Scientology nomenclature when we do streams? As an outsider, I'm interested to see how bad it is. I didn't even understand a word you just said in that comment, Alex. Mm-hmm. That's all Scientology nomenclature. Nobody understood you. We need to get Aaron Smith-Levin in here to have him translate. No, I'm kidding. It's kind of hard for me because I speak to so many of you that are former Scientologists, that I start learning a lot of your nomenclature, and I'm not even thinking about it. And I actually, when I'm hearing you, I know what you're talking about, so I don't even think about that. Chad, what about you?
Yeah, that's all I heard was goobly gobbly too.
So you used to get caught up with some of the Scientology speak and don't understand what they're saying?
Oh yeah, I don't understand all of it.
I see. I there's so many of them that I deal with that when I'm talking with them, they'll just, it's just natural for them. They just start saying Scientology terms, and you start learning it after a while, and it gets to the point where I don't even, I know what they're talking about.
There's still a lot I don't know though.
Yeah, there's a lot that I don't know either, and I forget who. I think it's. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. Didn't Jeffrey Augustine or someone do a Scientology dictionary where it literally spelled out the Scientology nomenclature and translated it into common talk? So let us know. Let's see, Catherine, we have gloves. There you go.
Nice.
And you know what? For me, I can't wear gloves when I'm working on cars and stuff like that because I need to feel. I need to know.
Same here.
So I can't use the gloves. Let's see. Evelyn,
there's some parts you have to feel for when you can't see it too.
Yeah, no, it's Evelyn. It is a the link there is about a 40-minute video of rainfall and the sound, and that's what it is. It's not a playlist. It's literally an ASMR just to sit and listen and relax you. Like with me, off of our bedroom, we have a tri-level, so our bedroom's on what would be considered the third floor. And so what we have is we have a door wall, and then we have a balcony, and we put a roof on over the door wall with corrugated steel. And so when it rains, you hear that as the rain's coming down. That'll put me in a coma. It literally knocks me out. Wife says I sleep so hard she just can't believe it when it rains. Let's see. There you go. Back out. Yep, you're good, Po. Up stat this week.
Nice.
You know what that means, don't you, Chad?
Means you're doing good, right?
Yep. When you hear
some of the easier ones I know.
Yeah. Ex-military nurse now. Don't sleep more than a couple of hours in blocks. Oracle 1. Thank you for joining us. Fall asleep quickly and anywhere, and that's the thing is that I can literally sit right here, and after the stream is over, if I wanted to, I could sit here and I could doze out for a half hour and just pop right back up like it's nothing. So I know exactly what you're talking about with that. I learned in the army, I could sleep anywhere. I've literally been in the bush and found an old tree that was down, and it have a branch that just come out just a little bit like this, and it's just enough for me to hook my head in it and just go to sleep, you know. And that so yeah, I've crazy things. Woke up with great big spiders that big on my chest and stuff. Ooh. Whoa, my goodness. Let's see, Evelyn, thank you. Yeah, I love the sound of rain and thunder. That's why when it started storming out here just a little bit ago, I was like, ooh, yeah. So Catherine Reynolds, my dad also had a 62 Chevy Nova. My brother still has it. Oh yeah. Is that one of the they called them the Chevy 2s? I believe that's what they were called at that point. They hadn't actually come out with them being Novas at that point. That's my favorite of the Nova body styles. And then when you get into the 73 is my second favorite when they went into the actual muscle car style body. Grand Theft Hoopty. I mean to write Miss Gale's quizzes that I failed to that too. Okay. Let's see. Deviant. With the years, with continued trauma upon trauma, I'm like the Green Lady. 12/12 like dark to bloom. Used to be I slept a couple of hours and wake up 3 or 4, 5 days. Wow, that is some serious insomnia. Yeah. My wife gets that, and she actually has to take medication to help her get to sleep. She's actually gone to the doctor. The problem with it is that the medication, it turns her into a zombie. So yeah, it's I understand your struggles there. The Marines were good at falling asleep anywhere. I mean, anywhere. I was their doc, so I had to watch them. They were your baby. It's kind of crazy to see someone calling a Marine their baby, and I'm not playing it as anything else, but it's cute. Australian bush spiders climbing through. Yeah. Oh, we weren't sleeping in tents. I mean, we were literally out there in the bush, and we would just, if we had a sleeping bag roll with us, we'd roll it out. But most of the time, if you're in the bush, it was too hot to sleep in a sleeping bag. You just put that sleeping bag down so you had something that was somewhat comfortable to lay on. But for the most part, nah. Sticks are sticks, no matter what you got on top of them, unless you got something that's hard, like a board or something, then put a padding on top of it, you're going to feel them sticks. And it don't matter how good you sweep the ground, you're still going to find it. Mm-hmm. Let's see. They loved me. I couldn't buy a beer in a bar. It ruled. And you know what? That's how we treated our medics. So, and we called them Doc. So, that's how we treated our medics for our team. They were there to save us, and if things went bad. And so, yeah, I understand. Yeah. Honor to be called Doc, though. Yeah. True honor, because when you have a team that is giving you that kind of accolade, that they're calling you something like that, that means they respect you and you're part of the group. And it actually puts you in a position where they actually look to you for guidance and things like that. Oh, Veronica, thank you so very much for that super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's, this is, when it comes to those kinds of things, Batgoat, it's amazing. You could take the most hardcore veterans that there are, and and find out that you were a combat medic, and watch the respect that they show. Not a tent, just okay, I know what you're talking about. I have a good friend. Yeah, keeps the tropical rain off. Okay, yep. I have a good friend who was a Australian federal police officer. He lived in Canberra, and we were talking about, because I'm a herpetologist, so for me, the Australian snakes are just, I love them. Your inland taipans, things like that. And yeah, he was talking to me about how people end up getting bitten by those. And, a bit of an offshoot there. If you're bitten by an inland taipan, which I believe right now is considered the most toxic venomous snake in the world, if you get bit by one, even with the anti-venom, you're still not likely to survive it because they pump so much into you, it just overloads your system. Chad, you see who's here?
No, who? Oh, hey, Mandy.
Mandy Gonzalez. And for those of you who hadn't seen it, she makes these wonderful ornaments. She was also making one for Mike Render, Team Mike ornament, which you can see right here behind me, hanging off the Explorer. And the money from that was going directly to Mike. And that's something folks remember. Just because they got themselves to a point where they're good for like 6 months or so, it doesn't mean the fight's over. Continue to keep them in your thoughts and your prayers. If you are religious or spiritual and that's what you believe in, keep them in your prayers. If not, just keep them in your thoughts, and every once in a while shoot them a DM or something like that. Just letting them know people are out there that care and are thinking about him. Believe me, that's a lot. Like you're exactly like me, Oracle. Oh man, spiders, no.
Oh, Jenny Wong is here too.
Yeah, I just saw that. Hey, Jenny, what's going on? All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, it's it's good to see a lot of folks getting back in and saying hi. This Sunday, working with Jeffrey Augustine, I am working on getting things together. We're hopefully going to be doing a live stream about gaslighting from Scientology. That should be a really good one. He has an actual gaslighting expert that we're trying to get on to do the live stream with us. Have a few other things in the works for now. And like I was saying, like Jeffrey and I were talking about the other day, we're working on a database. If you believe that you are being followed by Scientology private investigators, we're working on putting a database together for that so that we can actually chronicle it. And it will build towards, hopefully, if we're able to build some kind of criminal case showing and harassment, stalking, those kinds of things. Also, we are going to be working on something to where we're going to be putting together a crime watch of Scientology. So basically, where we notice that there are violations or potential violations of the law, we'll be able to report those in a timely manner, get them out to everyone so they know what's going on. Jenny, where are you working at? Huh?
Good question.
It's so important that you make a living. You miss our live streams.
Mm-hmm. I know, right?
Yeah, thank you. We love having you here, and thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you here, and every one of you, I appreciate each and every one of you. This channel wouldn't be here like this. I mean, look at this. Oh, okay. Jenny works as a cleaner, and hey, believe me, my mom at 70 some years old still runs her cleaning business.
Wow.
And she don't need the money, but she does it. She gives all the money to church. And she has a lot of seniors. She's 76 years old and has a lot of seniors that she cleans for free because they can't take care of their house. But she's 76 years old and moves around like she's in her 40s or 50s. That's awesome. The Sunday stream, that is the database, of course. Yeah, we're working on a lot of things like that are going to help to improve, getting things documented, getting things put together. If you feel that you are being followed by a private investigator, all right, first off, like we were talking, Jeff and I were talking Sunday night. Number one, they have no actual authority or power. You do not have to respect them, obey them. You can lie to them, and it's not illegal. All right. You don't have to worry about them. If you feel that they are, contact me or Jeffrey, give us as much information as possible on it. And we'll see what we can do. Main thing is that we're going to document things. If you feel you're being followed and you don't want to be bothered by them, then you need to contact your local police and file an actual criminal report, harassment, stalking, whatever it would fall into. And that's the way that you start stopping these things. Take the teeth from the tiger. And that's the best way to do it. And remember, they're citizens. They're not public servants. They're not the police. They're not the government. They have no authority. They can't arrest you. They have all the same rights and authorities that a citizen has. In most states, I'll speak for Michigan because I'm not an expert on every other state, but in Michigan, you cannot effect a citizen's arrest unless it is a verifiable felony that you can actually show the evidence that it happened. Okay. So they can't arrest you. And if they say, oh, I'm just going to get a warrant for you. How are you going to do that? You don't have any authority. You can't post a report to the prosecutor's office and get a warrant drawn up for someone. You just can't do that. The only way that that can happen in their case is they go to the police and say, here's what happened. The police investigate it, find out there's enough basis for a crime. Then a warrant can be drawn. But that private investigator, they can't do that. Okay. So yeah, just, don't let them mess with you.
Yeah,
have you talked to Miss Quibble? She had strange people parked for hours near her house at the end of a cul-de-sac. I hadn't even heard about that. That's the thing. There's a lot of things that's why we need this database. Yep. Hold on a second. Let me get the monster.
Roscoe break.
Yeah. Come on. Come here. All righty. Come here.
Poe's talking facts tonight, guys. Am I right? You guys know I'm right. You guys know I did it.
All right. And yes, I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Too hot.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, look at the baby. Come here.
Hey, Roscoe.
You okay, baby? What's the matter? Where's my kisses? Thank you. It's okay. I know you wanted to go out there and kill that big bad storm, but it's all right. You can't get them all. So, all right. Verna Cordon's here.
All right.
I've got to catch one of her live streams just the other day. Awesome to have you here. Sawadika. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. That's Ty. My apologies. All right, get over here. Show everybody your pretty face. All righty. Good boy. There you go. All right, get on your pillow. He ran out, and then he was going nuts barking at that storm. So let's see here. Mandy Gonzalez. I have a new job. I don't make replay. Oh, I don't make many of the lives. I make the replay. Here's the thing is that your view after the live is still counted in views for it. And that's the thing. Don't, if you can't make it for the live, it's not like I'm going to be mad or anything. We're still going to run the live. We're still going to go through it. Still going to give out the same information, all the attitude, all of the crap that we normally do. All right. We're still going to do it. We're not going to change it just because we don't have 2,000 people in our live stream at that time. We don't do this for big numbers. We do this for the folks that are part of the family, part of our friends, part of the community that we're putting together. So, if you don't make a live, you make it to the replay. Hey, that's just fine. We're just glad to have you one way or another. One thing I would request, folks, is if after the live stream, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, one of the big things is put a comment in after the replay into the actual comment sections, not the chat sections. That helps to get us up there in the algorithm. With the Leah Remini video that we did a couple of weeks ago, we're already up there at 23,000 views on that. So that really puts us in the algorithm and gets us out there that much further. Going to be doing a run on things because I'm literally 100 away from 4,000 subscribers now.
Nice.
So I'm really wanting to make that jump up. And
don't forget, guys, to double check that you're subscribed to Clearwater Chat if that's what you'd like to do.
I was just about to say that. Make sure you get over there and giving Chad some love too. Also, folks, every day I get messages from people. I was unsubscribed from your channel. I don't know what I did. It was not me. I can tell you that. I get unsubscribed from probably 2 or 3 channels a week. It's something going on with YouTube and their whole system. I don't have anything to do with that. But I'm telling you right now, unless you've absolutely done something that we can't forgive, we're not banning you. Okay. So don't worry about that. You having that problem too, Chad?
Yeah, mine. Yeah, they go down mysteriously for no
Yeah.
reason.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll be sitting there and it'll say like I've got 3,895 subscribers. Go back an hour later, you've got 3,850 subscribers. 50 people didn't just jump off my channel for no reason.
No,
You know,
not,
I
not
expect
in a short time like that, right? One or
Yeah.
two, yeah.
Yeah, I expect one or two in a week or something like that. That happens. You know, people come in, they see something that they like, and then, you know, it's just not their vibe. So that's cool. I'm fine with that. There are a lot of channels that I watch, and then after a week or two, I'm just like, this just isn't for me.
Yep.
So Jenny Wong, wow, that's awesome. How awesome is your mom? I love my mom to death. I talk to my mom pretty much every day if I can. But she's too busy to have her kid call her. So, you know, her 54-year-old kid. Love my humor. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I can't do anything about this. That's what I was born with. So that's, you know, that's just how it is. And Fanatic High Desert Railroader loves the elf in Chad's pocket.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, how else is DM going to be able to get around? You know?
Yeah, it's a pocket DM.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I have a new job. I don't make okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just put that up there, folks. Yeah, Roscoe's a cutie. He's a lover, and he's a little pain in my butt sometimes. You better not be chewing that. He has an obsession with chewing cords, and I have to keep splicing them back together. Let's see here. Deviant Outcast, we know you did it, Mini Chad. We know Roscoe did it. The rest of us 10x.
Verified facts.
Chad, you want to explain the 10x experience to everybody who doesn't know?
Oh, well, the 10x experience, if anyone wants to take my Clearwater Chad's 10x course, you could improve your life. You could make a lot of money like Clearwater Chad if you just listen to and obey Clearwater Chad. Am I right, Poe?
Exactly. 10x. So Retired Red loves him. What a handsome. Yeah, Roscoe. He's a pretty pup.
Yeah, he is.
You know what's crazy is that he was sitting on the couch earlier, and I turned and looked at him, and he eyeballed me he gave me stank eye for a good 10 minutes, would not turn his eyes away. Not many dogs will sit there and look you directly in the eye. They can't do it. Roscoe, he ain't scared.
Wow.
So Vernon Corden, thank you for dropping. Oh yeah, certainly. It was my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for putting the stuff out there. Sinfully Good. Sorry, I was late making the AA Ron French dip sandwich for dinner. Okay. Oh man, I love those French dip sandwiches.
I've been having French dip ever since he said the word French dip 2 or 3 months ago.
I think it's crazy how they can just make you.
Yeah.
The other day I was talking about conies, Detroit style conies, and I just been dying for a Tony Pacos. If you remember the television show MASH, Klinger, always talking about Toledo Mud Hens, the Tony Pacos hot dogs. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had to go get me one. Let's see. Catherine Reynolds, you're having a storm there in Jasper, Missouri. Yeah, well, that means we'll be having it in a few hours. Wow. That's for sure. Let's see. I'm just looking through some of these. Let's see here. Batgoat, YouTube has been doing that for some time now. Always check your subs. Yeah, I'm checking my analytics daily. Let's see. Every creator I watch says the same thing and has for over a year. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, that's true. Deviant is that I can't unsubscribe you even if I wanted to, but I can ban you. I can actually ban you from being able to. As far as I know, I could ban you from being able to even check out my content. If I read that correctly. Hey, Swinging A, thank you for joining us. Let's see. I see that all the time. I'm at 192 now, but I'll be at 100. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Or the fact that I'll put something out and for 24 hours straight, it gets amazing view rates. And then 24 hours is up and suddenly no more views. You know, I think that like with the Leo one that went so high so quick, that one it hit the algorithm and it got exactly what they needed. Yeah, I think Deviant gets that back out, but what we're saying is to YouTube randomly unsubs people from our channels, and that's crazy. Dastardly saboteur, Chad, you crack me up.
Thanks.
Julie Borbley, when I subscribe to nice people like you, I always select the bell part. So, yeah, and that's another thing is I haven't even gotten the notification that I just went live and I had the notification turned on. So it's crazy. I don't, Chad, you've been here and seen me 10 minutes into a live stream and suddenly, bing, there's my notification.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Thank you, Goldie. Yeah, folks. I turned back on the super chats because I don't know. I still haven't got paid for super chats from the last 3 of my lives, and they're not showing up in my analytics. So I've been doing the coffee. The coffee website. They don't take as much money from us to begin with, and it automatically deposits directly into my PayPal. And I just don't want to see folks buying super chats and then the super chats never coming in. That just, it breaks my heart that you're giving your good money to help. And like I said, every penny that I get goes towards new equipment, upgrading my ability to bring you content. And to see you give your hard-earned money and it never get where it's supposed to go, that breaks my heart. So eye contact like that is a dominance thing. Yeah. But here's the thing. Roscoe has already, I'm the alpha. I'm the dominant one. It's already, the way he reacts to my wife and my children is completely different than how he reacts to me. They can go to the door and say, come. And he'll just sit there and look at them like, not today. I come to the door and I go, come. He hotfoots it back to the house. We've already established the dominance on that part. The thing is that this he's nuts. So yeah. Let's see. My dad's saddest day is when he could no longer physically work on his cars. I can hear that. Yeah. Yeah, I can honestly back that 100%. That'd kill me. 300 views and it'll take 3 in the next hour or so. The reason why no one can tell you how the algorithm works is because I don't even think they know. So yeah, Goldie, I wish I understood YouTube motives. I wish I understood half of it. So let's see. Notifications are going out late, around 20 to 30 minutes into a live. Wow. Well, we're an hour and 42 minutes into this one, and I still haven't gotten my notification for this live. That's the kind of thing that just I don't understand it. So, Chad, now how are things going on over at your channel? You're still putting out a lot of lives. You're still doing your great content. You're doing the waterfalls and things like that. How's it going over there?
I mean, luckily I love all my viewers, of course, but my new subscribers have been going up really low this past month.
Really?
Even with doing the lives and all the shorts and videos. Yeah.
I would have hoped you'd have picked up more from hopefully like the Leah Remini when it live streamed to your channel as well. You would have picked up quite a few, because I picked up 600 new subscribers in the last, I think it was 18 days.
Wow.
So, and that I'll tell you honestly, that is with having Jeffrey Augustine coming on and doing the Leah Remini episode, and then this last one we did on Sunday night. It doesn't have anywhere near the numbers of the Leah episode, but I still ended up picking up about 50 new subscribers from that. So it's crazy stuff. Let's see. Swinging A, just popping in and popping out, middle of the night here. And Sweden, we got another one from over in the Netherlands. Wow. All right. Awesome. Going to Chad, we got to set a date so we can do a live where all of our friends. Yeah. So let's figure that out, because we need to do one so that all of our friends that aren't in our time zone can jump in. They like to test to make sure that you are still the alpha. The minute you let them take the dominant role, you're cooked. Yeah. I believe me, I've had dogs. I grew up with dogs basically as part of our family. And I know very well that, setting dominance and setting that example, and I've had everything from teacup Yorkies to, well, the wife had teacup Yorkies, but I loved them to death anyway. We had one named Jazz. Oh my gosh, she was just awesome little dog. All the way up to 120-pound white-haired shepherd that looked just like a white wolf. And name was Babs. Man, she was awesome, but she ended up with cancer and hip dysplasia. 120-pound shepherd, and she was pure white. I'd go out and put the shedding blade to her in the spring and in the summer, and it looked like it snowed in our backyard. Let's see. Go through these. Retired Red. You got to make sure you get over there to Chad if you haven't already. He does some great stuff going to state parks and things like that in the greater Buffalo area. He shows a lot of great content from that. And it's good family entertainment. So the thing is, YouTube knows they're the only game in town, so they do whatever they want. Odyssey, BitChute, our Graveyards, even Rumble, up and coming, will take years to catch up if they ever do. Yeah, I'm on Rumble, and like I said, I'm already up to 23,000 views on the Leah Remini episode. On Rumble, I think I'm up to like 16, maybe 20 at this point. Let's see here. I'll take a look right now. But that'll give you an idea of, and I'm not hiding it. Let me show you. All right. So this will give you an idea here. Once they get presented as a live here and they're all set and ready to go, then I download them and I put them over on Rumble. Like the Leah Remini has 17 views, and that's the big one now. But that's how it goes. Rumble just doesn't have the viewership that I'm looking for yet. Hopefully we'll build better. I know that a lot of people have jumped over, like Russell Brand and those kinds of folks, and they are doing great with it. Let's see. I just started Food Talk Friday last week. This week, Chad Marilyn will be joining me. Anytime you want, Cynthia, let me know. I do almost all of the cooking here in my home. And the great thing is I can also do stuff like, if Asian cooking, I can show how to make your own hand-pulled noodles for ramen, udon, those kinds of things. Make pad krapao, different kinds of Thai dishes. So if you're ever interested, and I ran a barbecue catering business for years. So, hey, my buddy Your Mojo is here. What's up, Joe? You just put the little man to sleep, and I hope I didn't just wake him up by yelling. Folks, if you haven't had a chance, go check out my buddy Joe Pinto's site, his YouTube channel, Your Mojo. A lot of great meditation, a lot of great calming kind of content. He puts a lot of personal insight into things. He's a really good guy. Good friend of ours, of my friend Dave from Gotta Love Thailand. Also, he's just good people. Let's see. Media Pato Video Editor 379. Wow, where did you come up with that? How you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. Hey now.
Oh, I can't read that, Poe.
She's doing it out in I don't know. I have to put the translator to that. Let's see. Take you up on that. Yeah. I would love to do some stuff with cooking. I think that would be awesome. I love to cook. And, if you saw how fat I used to be, I love to eat too. So, they go hand in hand, being able to cook and being able to put it down. So, yeah, all kinds of good stuff. I mean, like yesterday, the sister-in-law came over for a Labor Day picnic we had. I made a nice big rack of ribs, some burgers, things like that. So, yeah, it's, I love cooking. And no, thank you, Joe. Thank you for being a friend, and thank you for being here. Always appreciate it.
That's true. That's true, man.
Let's see here. Mitch is going to do some huevos rancheros with me soon. Oh yeah. I can. We have, there's actually a section of Detroit in Southwest Detroit called Mexican Town. Ooh, man, I love that. There's a place over there, Evie's Tamales. in Detroit. All these fresh handmade tamales, and if you're not there by like noon, they're sold out. So, that's the thing is that I love food from all over the world. Believe me. Oh, brisket. Oh yeah. Love brisket. Just hate how long it took to make it. But we would do with the barbecue catering. I don't know if I have a photo of that in here. Yeah, here we go. That was my barbecue trailer. Wow. And you see on the front of it there on the left-hand side, you'll see the smoker section. That's about a 5-foot drum that had a rotisserie in it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 racks, and I could put 4 slabs of ribs on each rack at a time. At the bottom and left of that drum or the smoker section, that was my burn box, and then it was made to look like a log cabin that everything was being done out of. So yeah, I did a lot of barbecue. We did some huge events. We did one for one of the local waste management companies, not the actual waste management, but they do the same work. And we did a cook there for 350 people. And then we did a wedding for 650. So, I mean, you're literally all night long on that stuff. It's just how it is. And especially with your pork shoulders or pork butts, whichever you want to do it, when you're talking 6 to 12 hours to smoke them out properly, depending on the size, you're really going at it. So, I loved every minute of it. The wife to this day cannot stand the smell of cooking pork because she had to sit in that log cabin, even with the air conditioner going, and put up with that smell. She hates it, detests it. So, All right, Chad, we're heading up to 2 hours here. You got any final thoughts before we start getting ready to head out?
Just remember, everyone, to take my fast, free money-making 10X program. And don't forget to subscribe to Clearwater Chad if you like waterfalls or Clearwater Chad or Griff Kills Zone. Thanks,
Grand Theft Hoopty, I'm not doing that. So, but yeah, make sure my buddy Dave with Gotta Thailand and Your Mojo. Make sure you're checking them out if you haven't already, and I hope most all of you are already. You should already be over there checking out Chad, becoming a subscriber to his channel. There you go, go 10X it.
Yeah, thanks, Backo.
Chad's good people. Didn't even realize I was having a live stream tonight, and then I sent him a link. He jumps in. He goes, "Hey, I didn't even know you were having a live stream." I looked up at the top, and I'm like, I did that wrong. So thank you all. So can I make Thai Tiger's tears so good? Did you ever, Joe, did you ever see that picture I sent to Dana when they shot the Pad Krapow into space, where I had the alien shooting flames out of his mouth and everything? That was good. Thai food is horribly hot. Wow. When I was there last time at the beginning of the year, I'd finally gotten my since I was able to build up to where I could handle a tolerance of the heat, and it was great. I mean, the added flavors that went in with that were just awesome. I loved it. It was great to see. So, all right, folks. Well, as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you so much for joining us here. Even though it was a last minute, just a pop-up thing, it's been great. The conversations have been awesome. I thank every one of you for it. And remember, life is short. We get one shot. Make it count.